Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot readings here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It makes a big difference. We have a fantastic community here because of you, and I am forever grateful. So, I'm here 365 days of the year. Sometimes I'm still rushing at the end before I come on. But I'm here 365 days of the year to take your 12 political questions out of the chat. And basically, I was saying, put everything in all caps. But really, the questions before we start are actually easier if they're typed regularly, so I can just paste them into the description box. It's when we're live that I really need, if you're trying to say something to me, it really does help if you put things in all caps, because then I know you're talking to me. Because people have whole conversations and they're just really supportive of each other, and whole conversations that don't have anything to do with me. And so I don't know, but it's not that big a deal. It's really especially the whether the questions are in caps or not before we start, it's not a big deal. But I just thought I'd mention it. So for whatever it's worth. 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to Feeding America at feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country, and that is an ongoing thing. And today is Wednesday, so I have a hard cutoff time at 1:40. But I usually get through the questions before then, so before the timer's up. So, and you guys are so great. I've had weeks where I honestly just forgot. I was just so caught up in what I was doing and maybe didn't recognize like what day of the week it was or whatever it was, and suddenly, I've got people in chat saying it's 1:40, it's 1:35. Are you ready? You're going in 5 minutes, right? You guys are keeping me better on top of things. So I thought these nails would go well with the butterfly wings. I love this Art Deco butterfly experience, so I just had to share that. And I don't know why, it just seems, I'm not usually a butterfly person, but I don't know, I'm feeling very drawn to butterflies these days. It seems to calm people down. It seems to be just very pretty. It's a lovely energy. And I have got the most just subtle, but just tiny, but beautiful butterfly overlay for tomorrow. You're going to love it. I'm looking forward to it. But for right now, I love this Art Deco. But anyway. All right, I've got RCN says I'm an Art Deco fan myself. Oh, what is not to like? Awesome stuff. Awesome. Okay. Kevin says, recall when Autumn wrote each question down by hand on paper. Technology rocks. That is true. That is true, Kevin. Technology does indeed rock. Okay. So, I'm trying to think what else. We have Epic Troll Slayers who keep us safe too, so thank you. All right, I had asked earlier, I had said I had 11 questions, and then I had stopped to ask you guys for possibly, something a little more fun for the 12th, something a little nicer for the 12th question. I do like this one from Trillion Treasures asking, should I get rid of my bell bottoms, or are they coming back into vogue? I like that. I like that kind of thing. We need, after today is just, there's some serious stuff we're going to be covering today. So, oh, it's not letting me. How can I? Hang on just a second. I've got to get rid of a couple of lines here. It's not letting me save. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Okay, sorry. I was just having a quick look. So, do. And okay, I'm looking at Chernobyl. Oh, geez. News. Ancient Japanese killing stone has said to contain an evil demon has cracked open. Okay, let's look at that, and then let's look at bell bottoms. Because we're gonna need. Okay, we're gonna leave off today with the crazy and the silly. That's gonna be our thing today. All right, so let me just get rid of that so I can save this, and let's get started. Let's get this party started. All right. Glenna Miles says, as a height challenge person, bell bottoms make me look like a toadstool. I love that. Oh gosh, I love that. Oh, I just remember back in the early 80s, just how they didn't make, skinny jeans and things like that. But I remember us taking safety pins and actually folding the around our ankle, our trousers around our ankle, and safety pinning it because we wanted the pants to be as close to our ankles as possible because it was a reaction to all the bell bottoms of the 70s. I remember that. It was our early teens, and that was kind of what we did. And then you got the 90s. After I mentioned Buffy the Vampire Slayer's that episode Hush, I actually went back and rewatched it last night. It's actually Buffy's on Amazon Prime, which I have. So, that was a scary episode. It's scary, as much as a Buffy episode can be. It's like, the actors did a great job. The ones playing the monsters, they just did this fantastic job. But anyway, looking at the clothes from the late 90s to 2000, yeah, you could see the straight legs, the wider pant leg, the big chunky shoes, and then we hit the aughts and what have you, and suddenly it was just skinny jeans. And now that's starting to loosen up. So basically, the pants, they get wide, they get smaller, wider, smaller, wider, smaller, decade by decade by decade. It's just how it is. All right. So 8:30. Let's jump into the icky. All the ickiness. All right. 8:30. All right. Actually, we're not jumping straight into the ickiness because on today's episode of Do Not Mess with Ukrainians, we have got, oh boy, I don't know if I can find this in the tab, so I'm just gonna open up this way. Oh, is there a picture here or is it farther down? Yep, there we go. Let me share. Actually, let me close this first. There's some rearranging and stuff going on because there's a the washer and dryer that set is 25 years old, finally being replaced, but they're having to check all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's, if you hear noise, that's just they're checking stuff because it's going to be delivered maybe tomorrow. So anyway, 10 minutes in. Sorry, I'm a little scattered, but I'm getting there. Juggling lots of stuff. So, on today's episode of Do Not Mess with Ukrainians, share screen, Chrome tab, Ukrainian citizens tie alleged looter to a pole with his pants down. Yes, indeed. People who have attempted to take advantage of the ongoing crisis in Ukraine have faced similar punishments. Yep. Tape, pants down. There's another one up here. Here. Yep. Looters will be taped to a pole. Also, we have Russians stealing a safe from a Ukrainian bank, but that's whatever. But yeah, do not mess with Ukrainians. Our police force, our whole thing, it's we're not sure, everything's up at topsy-turvy. How are we going to call the police? How are we going to grab pole, tape hands. Looters. Yes, Dr. Mom, don't make me go Ukrainian on you. So, wow. I had to start with that. So the question is really, I want to know how is the resistance going? How is the fight back going? Because you don't mess with Ukrainians. I mean, it isn't technically the resistance yet in terms of, their country hasn't been, they haven't, conceded defeat. So I don't think they're going to. But because you just don't mess with Ukrainians. You just don't. All right, this is not staying. You need to. What are you doing? There. Okay. My planner was getting unruly. It is better than a bullet. Exactly, Tiffany. Yeah. I know, Cecilia. That's on the list of questions. So, how is the Ukraine resistance doing? Oh, speaking of which, let me share this with you. As I am shuffling and putting cards out. I think it's this one. No, that's not it. 1 second. No, this is definitely worth it. I've just got to find the right. I've got so many tabs open right now where I was digging through all of the headlines. Well, in Ukraine, let me do a search. No, this is totally worth it. You guys need to see this. It's in the news. There we go. Oh, no, I see. That's because Reuters decided that I've had too many. All right, I give up because Brutus just doesn't want to let me play along, so fine. Okay, all right. Let's do part 2 here. 15 minutes in, 15:30. Okay. Because what's happening, I can't get the, I can only get the one in London. But basically, musicians in Kiev were playing the Ukrainian national anthem. Sorry about that. I was going to say, and I'm guessing the lyrics are, "Do not mess with Ukrainians. We will tape you to a pole. We will tell armed soldiers to put sunflower seeds in their pockets. We will steal the invaders' tanks. Do not mess with Ukrainians." Partnership. There's definitely partnership with the West, although we have a question here where I am so annoyed with Germany. Oh, so annoyed with Germany. And Trudeau. We'll get there. How's the resistance going? 2 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, Hanged Man, Page of Swords. Russia's economic problems are going to be an issue. This is communication going out over the world, to the world, about the Russian aggression. There's starting to be some pushback. And it isn't really there's starting to be pushback in the West, and it's not the people. It's the super rich. It's the banks. But this suspension and this bully, I just don't get Ukraine giving up their resistance. Hello, Felisa. So I'm trying to get your names correct. Okay, 7 of Swords. Trying to steal our country. Tower. Trying to evacuate people. Fruits of labor. But they're going to succeed. They are succeeding. They're succeeding in holding the Russians back. They are succeeding in getting some people out. There is more evacuation of Kyiv going on right now. There's an increase in that. They're fighting hard. They are fighting hard. And I understand we don't, want to get into a hot war with Russia, but at the same time, we're going to, it feels like we are going to regret if we do not stand up to the plate now. So, oh, bless you, Deb. Thank you. So, all right. Now here's a little bit where Mother Nature might be taking a side, at least briefly. So we like that. Apparently, Arctic winds in Ukraine, quote, will turn Russian vehicles into 40-ton freezers. Yay! Temperatures of minus 20 degrees Celsius in coming days will wreak havoc on all sides, but the impact on the stalled convoy of invaders outside Kyiv is expected to be particularly severe. Now, granted, minus 20 Celsius, that's quite a thing. Oh yeah, Diane, we're checking on that too. So at 21, what effect will this have? Freezing Arctic winds. Minus 20 Celsius in the coming days will wreak havoc on all sides, but the impact on the stalled convoy of invaders outside Kyiv is expected to be particularly severe. Ooh, it's going to get chilly. Oh, I know what I was going to show you guys. As far as when it came to this, there's so much noise today. According to this, oh my gosh. I saw this on my phone, so I had to share it with you. Talking about cold temperatures. This little ragamuffin. Look at this little baked potato. Wrapped in a heat blanket. After crossing the border into Poland. Look at that little potato. Keeping him warm. Or her. What a sweetie. Anyway, I had to share that. Little potatoes. Strength. I'm a little concerned what the Ukrainians will be perfectly willing to set on fire of the Russians in order to stay warm. Oh boy. So Jelly is saying, fun fact, minus 40 degrees Celsius and minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit are the same? Really? I don't know anything like that, to be honest. All right, 2 of Swords, 4 of things brought to a very chilly halt. Oh, very, very chilly halt. Because the Russians, not only are they having trouble getting supplies of fuel, how much oil, how much grease, how much of that is in the supply lines? Thank you for sharing that, Julia. Man, Lovers, 3 of Swords, Empress. Brutal. One article I read was talking about possibility of frostbite in the Russian soldiers. You are not in your own country. You are not well supplied. You're not surrounded by family who will do anything they can to help you. I mean, soldiers work together, but it's not the same as, being cuddled up in the middle of grandma and grandpa and mom and dad and, you know, this does feel, these feel mechanical. So it's going to be brutal. Get out of the country. You don't belong there. Leave Ukraine, Russians. Go ahead. Leave Ukraine. It's miserable. You could be home. You could be home and more. Yes, for Interbenet, they should go home. Mm-hmm. Yes, Dwight, the Russian soldiers, they don't want this fight. They don't want this war. Mm-mm. Gary is saying lurk away. What's wrong, Gary? Felisa is saying the Russian equipment is going to freeze. I think you're right. Hey. Oh, jeez. Sorry. The ruble, Katie Arbuckle is sharing that the ruble is now 0.006 US dollar. Oops. Be Kind says turning around and going home would be a death sentence for them, I'm afraid. Yeah. Crazy. All right, so let's move on to Chernobyl. What could go wrong? Okay, now this is what I don't understand, because I read various articles on this. So Ukraine is saying that Chernobyl has been cut off from the main power supply. Excuse me, what? They have backup generators, but the generators will only last so long. Some people say 48 hours, some say a few days longer than that, but it's not great. Okay. So Chernobyl nuclear plant site knocked off the power grid. Generators on, Ukraine says. Emergency generators are now supplying backup power at the decommissioned nuclear plant. However, there was the international, the IAEA, Ukraine said on Wednesday there was danger of a radiation leak at the Chernobyl nuclear power station. But the UN nuclear watchdog saw no critical impact on security. Huh? The state-run nuclear company said a high-voltage power line had been damaged during the fighting. It said radioactive substances could eventually be released, threatening other parts of Ukraine and Europe if there was no power to cool spent nuclear fuel stored at the plant. Yes, 48 hours. The foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, said reserve diesel generators could power the plant. It was just only 48 hours. After that, the cooling systems of the storage facility for spent nuclear fuel will stop, making radiation leaks imminent, he said on Twitter. I call on the international community to urgently demand Russia to cease fire and allow repairs to restore the power supply. Okay, now here's the thing. The International Atomic Energy Agency said on Twitter that the development violates a key safety pillar on ensuring uninterrupted power supply. Yeah, but that, quote, in this case, IAEA sees no critical impact on safety. The IAEA had warned on Tuesday that the systems monitoring nuclear material at the radioactive waste facilities at Chernobyl had stopped transmitting data. Okay, so Ukraine is going, okay, understandably. The IAEA on Tuesday stops getting data And on Wednesday, they're saying, oh, there won't be a problem. I'm guessing you don't see a problem because your monitors stop working? Okay, so Kevin Brazil, IAEA CYA, yes. Gary Atkins, like he gives an RIP. It's not good. I agree, Gary, that is not good. Teresa Ford is asking, so the IAEA is run by the GOP? All right. Hey, Chernobyl. How you doing? Scrambling to get diesel. Right now, they're scrambling to get more diesel for the generators. I feel like I'm standing outside by big cement buildings, and I can hear generators. They're rushing. They're doing anything like panic, like whatever you do, get diesel to Chernobyl. Yeah, this is important. We love our Mother Earth. We love our countrymen. Okay. Chernobyl. 7 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. 9 of Cups. Page of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. Okay, here's the thing. Honestly, airlifting people and supplies into Chernobyl from the West is not going to be a violation of, it's not going to be a declaration of war. It's, this is the spent fuel they're trying to keep safe. This is the huge atomic power danger, this situation. This is big. In the center, I do have supplies laid out, things laid out. Russians not necessarily willing to allow material, not necessarily willing to allow the West to come in. And I'm concerned there could be a little bit of a problem here. Not a huge problem, not like 1986 was it, but there could be a little bit of a problem because there's weakness in Western response right now. Yes, Teresa Ward, danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson. Yes. So, I would think the powers that be in Europe would be like, you know what? Maybe this is something we should do something about. Diane B says the problem too is the crew's held hostage. Very little sleep and food. How long can they operate safely? Well, that's the point. In order to get those materials in and what have you, are you going to have to shoot at Russian soldiers? Come on, Europe. Because Russian supply lines are not great. Ace of Cups. Sure, you want radioactive material drifting. Three of Wands, Three of Cups. Nine of Swords. This is some kind of fighting back. I think we're going to have to look at the next question, because because there's pushback in the West now. Hello, Kate. Wonderful Kate is here. Hello, Kate. Yes, Zachary Smith. Dr. Smith was in Space Family Robinson. Yes, I think so. Dr. Smith. Yes, let the young child be friends with the raging narcissist who got them into that problem in the first place, who they can't trust with anybody. Yes, let our most vulnerable hang out with him. Dan B says 500 Russians and heavy artillery hold Zaporizhzhia. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. Lost in space. Yes, that's actually pigs in space, but yes. No, that's the monsters. Oh, yoy. Lost in Space. I used to watch it. Anyway, I can't remember it off the top of my head. Anyway, have no fear, Smith is here. Yes. Mel Broussard says the IAEA says the heat load of spent fuel, storage pool, and volume of cooling water at Chernobyl nuclear plant sufficient for effective heat removal without need for electrical supply. Let's hope. Their monitors went down. They don't know. They don't know anymore. They're guessing. They're guessing changes haven't been made. The people there, are working under duress without breaks, and yeah, okay, all right, sure, all right. Government judgment. Okay, this is a good time to move on to the next question, which is also incredibly frustrating. 3830. There's a reason I wanted silly stuff for the end, but because, oh my gosh, 3830. Okay, I can understand Germany to a point, not really, but I can, it's like, okay, it's Germany, fine, okay. But Trudeau, I'm looking at you, Trudeau. Germany will not send the fighter jets to Ukraine. Do you guys remember how there was talk of, that basically, okay, can you go backwards? Ukrainians need fighter jets. But they can't take like US fighter jets. They are only trained on the MiGs, the Russian MiGs. And so Poland has some Russian MiGs, but they can start, if they can get some nicer Western fighter jets, they're like, hey, we'll train our pilots, or we already have some of those, or whatever. So in theory, Polish MiGs could be moved to Ukraine, and then the US was agreeing to give Poland newer aircraft. Then Poland got cold feet and said, Oh, geez, because some of this was gonna go happen behind, just quietly behind closed doors, but it came out in the media. So then Russia, Poland is basically being told and is being pressured that if they give MiGs to Ukraine, that's an act of war. So there was some weird thing where it's like, okay, um, we'll work with the Americans, what have you, who have all these bases in Germany. So Poland sending these MiGs for Ukraine, sending them to Germany. And then I guess the US was going to fly them. Oh, Desert Dawn said Poland made the announcement before the USA agreed to it. Yeek. Anyway. Linda McMurtry says, also, fighter jets are the nation's decision not to send them to Ukraine because they're pretty sure the war would spread to Russian soil. I could see someone heading to Moscow. Taylor B., let the pilots go to Poland to get the planes. I know, right? Joanne Marr, loose lips sink ships. Yeah, well done, Poland. So anyway, so the MiGs, apparently they've gone to Germany. Germans, well, military bases in Germany or what have you. But here's the thing. So now Germany will not send fighter jets to Ukraine. Oh, it is a neighboring country, but they're afraid that if they take their fighter jets and give them directly to the Ukrainians, that Russia is going to attack them. Russia's going to attack Poland. So they're trying to do this second-hand thing. And now Germany's saying, we're not allowing these to go to Ukraine, these jets to go to Ukraine. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said the country will not send fighter jets to Ukraine, urging a ceasefire. Go talk to Putin about that. During a news conference Wednesday with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Scholz said a military option makes no sense. Otherwise, we must consider very carefully what we do in concrete terms, and that most certainly doesn't include fighter planes, Scholz said. Trudeau and I agree. The attacks on Ukraine's cities, schools, and homes are inexcusable. It is clear a military option makes no sense. What we need now is a ceasefire. You're standing right there, Trudeau. Really? Just gonna go, okay, sure. Kate Priest says, it sounds like Germany is saying if planes come from within this country, it's the Americans doing it, not us. Well, if it was the Americans doing it, not us, well, that would make Russia, it's like Russia be mad at the U. Okay, anyway, the point is, Ukrainians are up a creek. Frida Smet said the U.S. said not to send them. Diane B. That's question number 5. No worries. We're getting there. So basically, is NATO wussing out? Shockwave saying the U.S. will get them the jets just another way. Well, let's hope. Let's see. Is the West wussing out on Ukraine? Now that it's getting difficult. Joanne Marr says lend lease like Roosevelt did. Have a great day, be kind. All right, Wes, for you. All right, NATO, you just completely just. So as the world decided it's too hard to keep supporting Ukraine. It's too inconvenient. It's too hard on us. Chamberlains of the world. Kate Nelson says Canada sending $25 million worth of additional military equipment to Ukraine. Well, that's good. The new budget, the new U.S. budget, I believe, gives, I forget how many billion, $135 billion of aid to Ukraine. I can't remember. Kate Priest says, I would not want to work for the CIA right now. Good heavens, this all sounds like a mess. Yes. Yes. Kay Nelson is saying Trudeau announces extension of Canada's NATO mission in the Baltics. Canada to subject Russia to 35% tariffs, provide safe haven for Ukrainians. Okay. Thank you, Erland. Time is of the essence, Cicerino. Yeah. Help. Do something. Four of Wands. Queen of Wands. Tower. Wheel of Fortune. Knight of Pentacles. All right. Well, basically, the West is still giving aid. But there's heavy duty. There's heavy pushback from various companies, banks, and what have you behind the scenes. It's great that there are so many companies and banks who are stopping business in Russia. That's awesome. But there's some heavy duty pushback behind the scenes. I mean, just think about how much money the GOP is losing out on right now. So Frida Smet says, I'll dive into the footage of the Endurance to get some peace. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. They have found Shackleton's ship after all these years. It's in amazing condition. Anyway. I understand, Kay Nelson. Canada doesn't have the population the U.S. does. Oh, no, I understand that. I'm just saying. I just hope that they're just not reporting that Trudeau said we are behind Ukraine and we are. Let me emphasize how much we're helping and we're going to help and because this talk of there has to be a ceasefire, kind of naive. Yeah, there needs to be a ceasefire, but you don't need to talk to Ukrainians about that. They want a ceasefire more than you do, trust me. Anyway, Putin is the problem. Yes. Is it Lorun? I'm sorry, I've mispronounced that. Teresa Ford, are we our brother's keeper or are we not? But there is a lot of there's a lot going on behind the scenes that's very good. There are a lot of people risking their lives to help, which is awesome. Kim Larson saying you shouldn't have disdain for Trudeau. I don't generally. It just in this one instance, it was not a great moment. I'm allowed to have an opinion just about just that one instance. I'm not liking that he didn't get hold of that message and do something with it. But I could be wrong. Heaven knows I could be wrong. Oh boy. Thank you, me, Lorraine. Okay. Oh, I don't hate Trudeau. No. But I'm allowed to, it's like siblings. You're allowed to call them out. Hey. Oh, brother of mine. Oh, country brother of mine. Think you could have handled that press conference a little better? Anyway. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to move on because it may be that he did do more, and for some reason the media decided not to cover it. But anyway. 52. All right, here we go. This is ugly. Let's have a look. Hospitals and schools are continuing to be bombed in Ukraine. Will this be enough for the U.S. to send in jets and other needed aid? Knight of Wands. Putin's military. Martin Winter is saying U.S. intelligence said Putin has lost about 8 to 10% of his complete military. Me Lorraine says Trudeau has great hair. I saw him in person in 2015. Amazing hair. Cool. Eight of Swords, Three of Swords, Ace of Swords, Tower. All right, we've got a Sun card at the end. So the world knows about it. This is all bad. This should be protection, but the West just doesn't want to get involved. But it's possible I think I've got a question on here about the Russian. Yes, U.S. Next is the question about the U.S. economy possibly going through into the dreaded stagflation or recession. Countries in the West going through recession. Western economies on the brink of recession, but the Russian economy Ah, shockwave. Thank you. Suspension. Okay. Trying to get a sense of what is this? Big action, suspension, the sun coming out. How does this get resolved in a positive way? Here's the sun card again. Three of Swords, Ace of Wands, Ten of Swords, Temperance. All right, so there is some kind of temperance here. There's some good news here somewhere. There is some kind of temperance, suspension of conflict. But this is the Russian aggression, and on either side of it, I've got left to right to you. That's left. No, left, right. Oh yeah. So it's going this way. Russian aggression. Three of Swords, Ten of Swords. So this is being it's just weakness on the Russian side. Because I don't know, excuse me. I don't know what would cause this to suddenly get better. Some kind of suspension. Is Russia going to agree, like, maybe we shouldn't bomb hospitals? But I just don't see that happening. This feels like because of the Russian aggression, they are hurting. The Russians are hurting. And it may just get worse and worse and worse. Maybe the economic problems continue. Have you guys heard? Electra Storm says, we only know what's being spilled via the media. There are things happening behind the scenes we will never know. That's true. But I'm just wondering if the West is going to push not just cutting off buying oil from Russia, but big trade, refusing any kind of trade. I just wonder how far the West, in the world, countries of the world are going to how far they're going to go to stop Russia short of a hot war. Shockwave says, breaking news, Ukraine First Lady sends out powerful letter pleading for help to end the heartache and pain. Yeah. Embargoes, Kim Larson, yes. So is it Russia just can't take the pain anymore? Two of Swords. Yeah, that was a boneheaded idea. Gee, I think I'll take this country. Four of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Fool. Yeah, there's a grinding. I'm getting a mental image of like there's Putin on one level, and where you get an earthquake. Where you get an earthquake, it's usually two land masses, and what's happening is they aren't just like hitting each other. One is usually pushing the other one down, or pushing the other one up to form mountain ranges. this feels like Putin's there, just la 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 la. But this is what's underneath, and this is starting to feel like an earthquake. Like this is starting to mess with what's happening in the country, what's happening in Russia. Even though right now, oh my gosh, it's like 60% of the population is like hardcore GQP. But it's still, this is grinding really hard. This is tectonic shifts. All right. And when, oh, okay. And it feels like when Putin does lose power over this, or he can't continue, it happens quickly. So Russians just pull out of Ukraine? Is that what's going to happen? Tiffany Lidley says, why destroy something you want to take? Because he's happy to get rid of all Ukrainians and just have Russians move in on the land. Seriously. There was a question yesterday. Actually, let's look at this. 10130. Putin in power. The question was that yesterday sometimes during the afternoon live streams over at Book Art Media, something will come up in the news. Kristen will sometimes come by and share really great headlines or whatever the latest breaking news is, just for fun. And if it's something important or big, I will sometimes just pull out cards and just read on it there. And yesterday, someone was asking, does Putin care about the Russian people? I mean, does he care about them at all? And I pulled cards, and what the cards were saying was, no, he cares about power. He doesn't care about the Russian people. He cares about power. He's a sociopath. Seriously. He's one of the scariest people you would ever have the misfortune of meeting. And it just it blows my mind to see those images from 10 years ago, when you had all of these A-list celebrities who got paid to go to this party in Russia, and Putin showed up and he sang. I don't know. It was like, I don't know if it was, I did it my way, but he may as well have. Oh, okay, Nelson. I am so sorry if I have offended you. I did not mean to offend. Canada is doing a lot of good. They really are. You guys, Canada is, they're like our brothers. I mean, our country brother, our sibling, our, please don't think I was just coming down on, oh, Canada's not doing anything. I know Canada's doing anything. It was just, in that one instance, the way it is brought out, it wasn't good PR, I don't think. But that's just my opinion. That's all I'm saying. So, go Canada. You do a lot of good, and you do a lot of things that we really should learn from. Healthcare, for instance, one of many. So, anyway. So at 104.30, basically, Putin doesn't care about the Russian people. He cares about power. Kate Priest says, one can appreciate all Canada is doing and still think Trudeau fumbled this one instance. That is exactly what I meant, and I apologize if it did not come out that way, which obviously I guess it didn't for some. So, Putin. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you. So 2 of Pentacles here. Putin. He doesn't care about his people. he put Zelensky, he's made up stuff to put people in prison. He's an autocrat. He does not care. He has nuclear material put in people's tea. I mean, he's just vile. Didn't he put poison in Navalny's underwear or something? I mean, that's symbolic, and just that extra ick factor of what the heck is wrong with you? So how is this, is Putin going to be able to remain in that horrible bubble of his, where nothing touches him and he can do whatever he wants? And Nine of Cups. Well, they're nationalized. They're moving to nationalize all the stuff that foreign companies put in there, and then the foreign companies are saying, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to help you. Okay, Nelson, I apologize. I really do. I do apologize. You seem very upset by this. And I am, from the bottom of my heart, I am apologizing. I'm not knocking Canada. I'm not even knocking Trudeau in the grand scheme of things. Really, seriously. So, Putin, Queen of Cups. So anyway, these companies are saying they're not going to do anything. Russia's moving to nationalize all this stuff that is left behind. So it's going to be McPutin hamburgers or what have you. Oh, thank you, Kate Nelson. Thank you. Do 7 of Cups, Chariots, 8. Really? Well, this is what's happening in the short term, but because the West are pulling together, so Russia's taking over their stuff, and they're continuing this horribleness. So really, Putin's just gonna keep on keeping on, huh? Nobody can touch him on the end of his Moby Dick table. The great white whale. Oh, there's a card upside down. Whoops. Only one would say, ask the cards, how long does Putin have on this earth? Oh, jeez. Diane B. Trump's plane made an emergency landing after speaking to the GOP. I'm afraid I don't know what any of that means. Milorian, yeah, terror is bad for time predictions. Putin. High Priestess. Four of Swords. Fool. Emperor. 3 of... okay, there's going to be... I feel like there's going to be a period of rallying, Russians rallying around the flag as all the sanctions cut in and what have you, but it feels like it doesn't go on forever. And Putin's fine where he is for a while. Oh, wow. Diane B says the plane was in the air for between 20 and 30 minutes before one of the engines failed. Oh, okay. Pilot of the private plane decided to turn around. Well, that's totally reasonable. Hierophant. Moon. Queen of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Page of Wands. Lovers. He does not actually have a decent successor picked out. There isn't a succession. Mendevev, or whatever the heck his name is. I keep getting it wrong, and I just, frankly, he's so awful. Is it even worth getting right? Putin's mini-me. Mendevev, or whatever his name is. He's not actually the successor. Claudia is asking, is Zelensky safe? No. No. But will he survive? I've been getting good energy on that, but it's loud. We get loud explosions. Thank you, Electrostorm. Yes, I have got about 10 minutes, so I better hurry. I was just trying to get a sense of what's going on with Putin, but I've spent... Yeah, he's not going anywhere for a while. So if we're expecting, the Russians to overthrow him 2 weeks from now, I don't think it's going to happen. So let me see if I can get through a couple more questions here quickly. 112, Nuclear Magenta was asking, is the U.S. economy about to go through the dreaded stagflation? Basically is... actually, it goes along with the headline, Western economies on the brink of recession as Russia's sanctions escalate. So what about... oh, Desert Dawn, no worries. I can always ask tomorrow. Economy. U.S. economy specifically. Five of Cups. There's some disappointments. But then again, we kind of know the situation. Nine of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Excuse me. Sorry. Eight of Wands, Chariot, Ace of Swords. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. Compared to a lot of places in the world, the U.S. is actually doing fairly well. There's a lot coming at us, and of course we have our internal issues. Looking at you, GQP. This, though, this feels like this isn't us necessarily going to war. It doesn't have dark energy about it, but this is very much, I think a lot of people in the U.S. are willing to kind of hunker down for a while. If we think it's going to be because we are shutting out Russia for all of their war crimes and, oh yeah, the high prices of gas and all this stuff, it's definitely cutting. It's definitely hurting. Thank you, Ms. Cat M. Holly Wanda, I will never be able to get that out of my head now. Anyway, insult to injury. Yeah, this is Ukraine. Hermit. It's just psychologically, as hard as the financial situation is getting in other parts of the world and in the US, watching what Ukraine is going through, watching the bravery of Zelensky, it coming together against Putin, against the atrocities and the the worries about nuclear plants and all this kind of stuff. It really is the psychology where you feel like you're willing to make sacrifices, even on a subconscious level, a little more willing to make sacrifices so that, the little potato child, little sweet little potato, is okay. So, and then we're going to get into the January 6th committee hearings. That's going to bring up a whole lot of stuff. And in the end, we decide who we are as a society. And we decide what our priorities are. And frankly, my understanding is that generally Democratic presidents have been following Republican presidents for years, decades now, cleaning up after Republican presidents. So the U.S. economy is still creating lots of jobs, and things will get better. So we're just having, as with their Pluto return, it's about rebirth. It's about rising from the ashes. It's about getting rid of the old toxic dead weight, the rotten parts of the tree, to flourish in future. So, and bravery is inspiring. So, all right. Well, that's where I'm going to leave it for today, actually. I've got some great questions I will put in first tomorrow. What I didn't cover today. I really appreciate you being here, all of you, and I appreciate your patience with me hugely. So, it is 1:36 p.m. here in Chicago. At 4 o'clock, I'll be over at Book Art Media doing creative sprints, and I've been working on trying to set up some merch, and I've ordered some samples. So I'll have to wait to get them and then see if they are good enough quality. If I believe they are good enough quality. And if so, then I will be offering some merch soon of my designs on it and what have you. But I have to make sure it's, because I don't want to put out anything that's really bad quality. That's anathema to me. Just no. So anyway, 4-minute warning. Says Mosquito. So anyway, thank you guys. Thank you. All right. So if you want some creative time, you're always welcome at Book Art Media. Links in the description. That's at 4 o'clock today. Other than that, I will be right back here tomorrow, and I'll the questions I didn't get to today, I'll put on first tomorrow. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. All right. Thank you, Milori. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Take care. And don't forget, there are good days ahead. There really are.